In this video, I'm going to solve some questions based on this identity, which says if x plus y plus z equals 0, then x cube plus y cube plus z cube is 3xyz. This is derived from the eighth identity. Now, let's say if I have taken some 4 questions here that is based on this identity. Let's say the first one, it says 28. The question is 28 cube plus minus 15 cube and plus minus 13 cube. Now what we are going to do is to take one of them as x, say x is equal to 28. The second term, say this is as y is equal to minus 15, and say z along with the sign it is 13. Now what we need to show here that by adding these three, x plus y plus z, we need to show the working that it is 28 plus minus 15 plus minus 13. So this is 28 and this is minus the sum of 15 and minus 13 will give you minus 28. So what we are getting 0. Now it's necessary to write down that since x plus y plus z is equal to 0 implies that x cube plus y cube plus z cube should be equal to 3xyz. This is what we have to write down, and then you will be writing this as x cube, which is 28 cube plus minus 15 cube plus minus 13 cube should be equal to 3 times x into y into z. And then you have to multiply these numbers. That is, we'll multiply 28 with minus 15 and with minus 13. So there is 2 negative signs, so it will get positive, and that comes out to be 5, 4, 6, 0. So this is the answer. Now, similarly, we can do the other parts. Let's say if I do more question of this type. Now I'm going to do this, say, yeah, I'll do this one first. That's the fourth part. Look into this. Here also you are going to take this as x, but before you do this question, there is something that you have to keep in mind, that here, this minus sign you can see here is outside the bracket. So first you include this inside the bracket. So this minus sign is outside bracket. Make sure first you include this inside the bracket, because we are going to use identity for the plus and not of minus. And this is 0.1 whole cube. Now here you are going to take 1 as x. Let's say x as 0.2, y as, let y is equal to minus 0.3. Likewise, z is equal to 0.1. That's positive. Now, again, here you are going to show that x plus y plus z. So in the working here that it is a 0.2 plus minus 0.3 and plus 0.1. So what you are getting this as, this plus this is 0.3 and then minus 0.3. That is equal to 0. Now you have to show that, since x plus y plus z is equal to 0, therefore x cube plus y cube plus z cube should be equal to 3xyz. X cube, that means 0.2 cube, y cube, that is that's minus 0.3 cube, and plus 0.1 cube. This should be equal to 3 times x, which is 0.2, into y, which is 0.3, into z, that is 0.1. Now you're going to multiply here. As you can see, there is one negative sign, so you will get minus here. And then if you multiply 3 into 2, 6, 6 into 3 is 18. What I'm doing here is 3 into 2 is 6, 6 into 3 is 18, 18 into 1 is 18. Now count the decimal place. It has total of 3 decimal place. So the final answer will be minus 0.018. Now continuing with this, we have two more questions like this to do. So let's do one of them. If I do the question number 2 here, this is question number 2. Here also we have to find this value without actually calculating them. So first we need to write down the question in the standard form. That means, let's say this is 1 by 2 cube and plus this is 1 by 3 cube. As we can see, we have an identity for plus, not for minus. So we'll keep minus inside. As you know, cube of a negative number is negative, so it can be written, right? It is important to remember that. It's only in case of odd power we can insert the plus minus inside. Now, like the previous question, here also we'll be considering let x is equal to 1 over 2, y is equal to 1 over 3, and z is equal to minus 5 over 6. Now we'll show by actual calculation that x plus y plus z is equal to 0. Not directly saying, just you have to show plus minus is minus, but let's say if I show with a working, what I'm getting the LCM here is 6, 2, 3 times, 3, 2 times, and 6, 1 times. So we are getting this as 5 minus 5 over 6 equal to 0. Now, once you are done till here, then you have to show that since x plus y plus z is equal to 0, implies that x cube plus y cube plus z cube should be equal to 3xyz. So what is x here? X clearly is 1 by 2, and y, which is 1 by 3 here, and z, which is minus 5 over 6, right, cube. So this can be written as 3 times x, which is half, y, which is 1 by 3, and z, which is minus 5 by 6. Clearly, we can see that here, this 3 and 3 get cancelled. So we are left with minus 5 in the numerator, and below it is 6 into 2, that is 12. Now, same way, there are other parts also that can be done. This also can be done in the same manner as. So this is actually a part of this, extended part of this identity called the 8th identity according to Polynomials chapter class 9th.